Struggling to understand clinical biochemistry? This quick breakdown will make it finally click in minutes. First, we'll cover electrolytes from the BMP or CMP. Second, kidney function. Third, liver function. Fourth, glucose and proteins. And fifth, acid base with ABG basics. Be sure to write that down. So what is clinical biochemistry, and why must nurses care? Clinical biochemistry explained in one line is simply the chemistry of blood and body fluids that guides your nursing actions. Let's start with step 1, electrolytes, which I like to call the electrical system. Think volume, nerves, and rhythm. Sodium runs from 136 to 142 milliequivalents per liter, and it tracks water and neurostatus. High sodium usually points to dehydration, while low sodium makes you think fluid overload or SIADH. So watch your patient's mentation. Potassium runs from 3.5 to 5.0 milliequivalents per liter, and here's a memory trick. 3.5 to 5, keep it alive. Potassium controls the heart's rhythm, and both high and low levels can stop a heart. Here's a huge test tip, students. Always recheck an abnormal potassium and place that patient on a monitor. Chloride runs from 96 to 106 milliequivalents per liter, and it often follows sodium and acid-base changes. Finally, bicarbonate, shown as CO2 on the BMP, runs from 22 to 28 milliequivalents per liter, where a low bicarb suggests acidosis and a high bicarb suggests alkalosis. Let's connect those to fast clinical links. Diuretics can drop potassium, because where fluids go, electrolytes flow. Insulin pushes potassium into the cells, so potassium and glucose drop together. And vomiting tends to raise bicarb, leading to metabolic alkalosis, while diarrhea drops bicarb, leading to metabolic acidosis. Let the name help you. Now a quick check. Which number is most urgent to recheck first? A sodium of 132, a potassium of 6.2, or a chloride of 98? The answer is the potassium of 6.2, because cardiac risk takes priority. Moving to step 2, kidney function, which I think of as the filters. BUN runs from 8 to 23 milligrams per deciliter, creatinine runs from 0.6 to 1.2 milligrams per deciliter in adults, and an eGFR above 60 milliliters per minute per 1.73 square meters is typically acceptable, while a lower value suggests impaired filtration. When creatinine rises, the kidneys aren't clearing waste. BUN can rise from dehydration or renal dysfunction. So look at both together, along with urine output and specific gravity, which runs from 1.01 nen to 1.025. Here are your clinical moves. If creatinine rises after contrast, ACE inhibitors or dehydration, think acute kidney injury. Hold the nephrotoxins, optimize fluids per orders, and trend your labs. And remember, less P means more problem. Safety is the most important thing here, so monitor your I's and O's, track daily weights, and stay alert for sudden drops in urine output. For a rapid recap, if BUN and creatinine are up together, the kidneys are struggling, but if BUN is up alone, it's often just dehydration. Be sure to write that down. For step 3, liver function, picture the factory. AST runs from 10 to 30 units per liter. ALT runs from 10 to 40 units per liter. ALP runs from 30 to 120 units per liter in adults. Total bilirubin runs from 0.3 to 1.2 milligrams per deciliter, and albumin runs from 3.5 to 5.9 grams per deciliter. Some memory help here. Think of ALT as liver alert, because it's more liver-specific than AST. When there's cholestasis or biliary blockage, ALP and bilirubin often rise. And if albumin is low, think malnutrition, chronic liver disease, or inflammation, because edema risk goes up when albumin can't hold fluid in the vessels. Let's tie those to the bedside. Jaundice, dark urine, or light stools should send you to check bilirubin. Medications like acetaminophen mean you should watch AST and ALT trends. And patients with low albumin leak fluid, leading to edema, ascites, and poor wound healing. Don't let the NCLEX trick you. Edema with low albumin isn't always a sodium problem. Sometimes it's a protein problem. Now step 4, glucose and proteins, the fuel and freight. Fasting serum glucose is about 70 to 110 milligrams per deciliter. The A1C is the percent of total hemoglobin, where a rising A1C reflects chronic hyperglycemia, and prealbumin, if it's ordered, runs from 19.5 to 35.8 milligrams per liter and serves as a short-term nutrition marker. A couple of quick rules. Hypoglycemia kills fast, and the most deadly things are often the most tested things. So if glucose is under 70 milligrams per deciliter and the patient is symptomatic, treat now per protocol. If glucose is consistently high, assess for infection, steroids, missed doses, or a stress response, and trend the A1C for long-term control. Here's a mini quiz. Your patient's albumin is 2.8 grams per deciliter with pitting edema. What's your primary nursing concern? It's fluid shifts and skin integrity, so elevate, protect, and collaborate on nutrition support. Finally, step 5, acid base, the ABG snapshot. Lock in these arterial ranges. The pH runs from 7.35 to 7.45. The partial pressure of carbon dioxide runs from 35 to 45 millimeters of mercury. And remember that respiratory acid is high CO2. The HCO3 runs from 22 to 26 milliequivalents per liter as your metabolic base. And the partial pressure of carbon dioxide runs from 80 to 100 millimeters of mercury with arterial oxygen saturation above 90%. Watch for these fast patterns. Metabolic acidosis shows a low bicarbonate, so think DKA, diarrhea, and renal failure, because if the kidneys fail, acid prevails. Metabolic alkalosis shows a high bicarbonate, so think vomiting and NG suction. Respiratory acidosis shows a high CO2 from hypoventilation or a COPD exacerbation. And respiratory alkalosis shows a low CO2 from hyperventilation, anxiety, or pain. Here's a clinical cue. Match the direction. A low pH with a low HCO3 is metabolic acidosis, while a high pH with a low CO2 is respiratory alkalosis. Students, please remember to always assess the patient, not just the monitor. Now here's your 60-second lightning recap. For electrolytes, sodium runs 136 to 142, potassium runs 3.5 to 5.0, and CO2 runs 22 to 28. So if potassium falls outside 3.5 to 5, monitor the heart and act fast. For kidneys, BUN runs 8 to 23, and creatinine runs 0.6 to 1.2, where a rising creatinine means filter failure. For the liver, ALT runs 10 to 40, AST runs 10 to 30, ALP runs 30 to 120, and bilirubin runs 0.3 to 1.2, where low albumin means edema risk. For glucose, the range is 70 to 110, and hypoglycemia means treat now. And for the ABG, pH runs 7.35 to 7.45, PaCO2 runs 35 to 45, and HCO3 runs 22 to 26, where vomiting causes alkalosis and diarrhea or renal failure causes acidosis. If this clinical biochemistry training helped things click, and you want to learn clinical biochemistry with structured, on-demand lessons, check out elitelearning.com.